So now in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to make a light vanilla butter cake, and this is the version with the eggs. And why I call it light, because the same ingredients could have been done using the creaming method, which you know already. I mean, now I'm just going to alter the technique a bit. So the same vanilla butter cake with the creaming method is going to be lightened at the end. So what we are going to do here is separate the eggs. So in this we are not going to use whole eggs, we are going to use the yolk separately and the white separately. And then using the whites, I am going to use a little bit of the sugar measured for this particular recipe and make a meringue at the end. Meringue is nothing but beating the whites and then adding the sugar and then making it a very foamy texture, which gives volume. And that particular meringue, I'm going to fold it at the end of the batter making process, and that is going to make the butter cake a little more lighter. And I like this particular recipe in layered cakes because of the fact that if people generally think that the butter cakes are a bit of dense and then maybe it is like heavy, and this process is going to lighten up that butter cake altogether. Okay, so I have the ingredients here, that is the butter, and then we have the eggs separated, whites and the yolk, and that's all purpose flour, baking powder, and then the salt, and I have milk, sugar, and then vanilla extract. So this particular butter cake, I'm going to use it to make cookies and cream layered cake. So I also have the cookies here. So it's good to have the cookies, whatever we're using, that is nothing but Oreo. Okay, so cookies and cream, generally we just relate it to the Oreo biscuit, though that is a brand. You can use it with even your homemade chocolate chip cookies, right? But then in general, the assumption for a cookies and cream cake comes together and it ends up being Oreo. So I'm going to use Oreo as well. And now I'm going to chop them into smaller chunks, or we could also break them into chunks that you think that should go into the batter. We are also going to flavor the filling and the frosting when you're going to layer them, but that will be in a separate lesson. For now, that will be Oreo that we will be adding into the batter. So now without the Oreo, whatever steps we will do will be another light vanilla butter cake that can be used in a lot of other places. Now adding Oreo is an additional step only because we are going to use it specifically for the cookies and cream cake. Okay, so I'm just going to set the ingredients aside, and I have the 6-inch round cake pan that has been lined with butter paper on the bottom and then on the sides with a little bit of the hanging, and that's very important to allow the height of the sponge to rise, and it's been buttered and flowed as well on the inside. Okay, so I'm just going to have the cutting mat. So what is the size that we'd like in the sponge? So it will just go along with the cream in the cookie. I'm just going to put this back into the bowl. So this will be the last thing that we will add in the batter. And now all the recipes that uses egg will get baked at 160 degree Celsius, and so the oven should be already preheating. Okay, so I'll be needing 2 bowls because for the creaming method I'm going to start. So in the regular creaming method is what we're going to follow, but in the place of egg I'm going to use only yolk, and the rest of the processes are going to be the same, except that the white is going to be folded at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to first sift the dry ingredients together. So into this will go the flour, baking powder, salt, Then I'm going to sift them together. I'm going to set aside the dry. And then we start beating. So this will begin like it is the creaming method. So in the creaming method, it just starts with the butter. Now first we beat the butter and then make it soft. Depending on how long the butter has been kept out, we just want it soft but not too soft as if it's like about to melt. We don't want that for cake making. So you just put it in here, and then if there are a bit of lumps in the butter, like not too soft stage, then we need to use the beater and then soften and then break the butter and then make it creamy before we add the sugar. Butter soft now. With this I'm going to add sugar. So we have to ensure the sugar grains have to be not too big. I mean, you don't have to use caster sugar here. We are using the fine granulated white sugar, but then ensure the granules are quite small. So you will actually buy the fine granulated white sugar, and because we're not supposed to be using the icing sugar as well the caster sugar for the specific recipe. So now the creaming method is going to start. It will take about 5 minutes. I'm just going to run this on the medium high speed, and I'm going to scrape down once in a while in between, and also be showing you the texture, how it is going to look, and it's changing from this yellow shade of this butter's color to getting to the paler side and creamy and light and fluffy. So medium high speed, and then we just get the beater started. The butter and the sugar has been beating up for 2 minutes now, so I just want to show how it looks on the inside. Okay, so the sugar is not going to completely dissolve at this stage, because most of the times I find when students do, they are like getting stressed out on the sugar to get fully dissolved at the stage. Sugar will not get dissolved at the stage. We are only going to look at it becoming paler, lighter, and then fluffier. Okay, so putting it back to beat again on medium high speed for about maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. I'm going to check back. Okay, so you can see it has just gotten paler. It's not the butter's yellow color anymore, and you can see the creamier texture. That is how it is going to look. Okay, so into this, as I said, the first half is all completely going to be creaming method, and now is the stage where we are supposed to add the egg. But here, because we are going to use the whites at the end, at this stage we are going to have only the yolks getting added up. So I'm just going to hold one of the yolk. Okay, so the one yolk gone in, and then again, like the creaming method, we have to beat for about a minute and then have the yolk completely incorporated. So we need to allow the time for the egg or the yolk that is going to be added into the butter sugar creamed um, component of this entire process. So this egg yolk will be beating for about a minute on medium high speed. So let's check how it looks after one yolk. Okay, and I'm also scraping down fully. Into this, the other yolk. And then beat this again for about a minute on medium high speed. So that 1 minute time is really important for the egg or the yolk to get beaten inside and then get incorporated, and that will reflect on the texture, final texture of the cake. So don't hurry, because it might look like the egg is all gone into the butter sugar, but then that extra time, which is like the 1 minute, will give the texture, and it is important. Okay, and so to this I'm going to add the vanilla. Then I'm going to beat just until the vanilla gets incorporated. It could take about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, so to this I'm just going to scrape beater. So that's how it looks after vanilla. Okay, so into this I'm just going to add the flour mixture in 3 parts and the milk in 2 parts, alternating the both, starting and ending with the flour. Okay, so I'll put it back. We start with 1 part of the flour going in, so I'm going to eyeball it. So I'm going to put it back and then beat on slow speed just until incorporated, and after the stage we know that it shouldn't be over beating, or otherwise your cake's texture will just get very tough and dense. So I'm just going to scrape it down and then show how it looks after the addition of the first part of the flour. Okay, so it is going to look thick. However, I'm just going to scrape down, go till the bottom. And now into this I'm going to add 1/2 of the milk. which you can just eyeball. Now I'm going to put it back into the stand mixer and then beat just until you see no traces of the milk, and that will be on the low speed. It's just taken about 7 to 8 seconds for that milk to get incorporated. I'm just adding in the second part of the flour. And now beat just until you see no traces of the flour. It kind of looks like a thick batter at this stage, never mind. And I'm just going to add the last part of the milk in. So you can see this is before the addition of the last part of the flour. So it is going to look thick, and that's how this batter is, so not to worry. So all the flour is gone in. So now I'll just beat until I see no traces of the flour. So this part looks good. The last part will be the egg whites. So I'll just clear this paddle attachment at this stage and show you the texture how it looks, and then set it aside, and then I will just move on to another bowl. Now say in case you don't have another bowl that you can use to beat the egg whites. Why? Because now transferring this batter into another bowl and then washing it up to use it for the whites and all that, you may not be able to like wash it real clean because there is yolk in it and there's butter in it, and then it is going to have a lot of fat in it, right? So the bowl that you're going to use for your egg white has to be really very clean, preferably stainless steel or a glass bowl and not a plastic bowl, because if you're going to have the whites that has a little bit of the fat content there in remaining left over that you washed but it just didn't get washed properly, or if there's like little bit of moisture you washed but you didn't wipe the bowl properly, then your egg whites is not going to rise up. And if it just doesn't raise up when you're beating, then obviously you have to trash it and then restart with a fresher set of egg whites. Okay, so at this stage it looks like this. So, and that is how it is supposed to be, so not to worry. So I'm just going to set that bowl aside, and I'm just going to have another bowl, and this bowl I'm just going to use a wire whisk. Okay, now for the egg whites and the meringue, we would be kneading the whites together with the sugar. So I'm using the wire whisk for beating the whites, but if you're using a handheld beater, you could use the same beater that you're using, because you don't have a wire and a paddle when you're going to use a handheld beater. Now, if you are going to use the handheld beater and you don't have the options for different bowls, then you have to be beating the whites first with a clean beater, clean and dry beater with a clean and dry bowl, and then have the meringue made first and then start with creaming the butter, sugar and adding the yolks part, because you have to be very careful in using very clean dry bowl and the beater when you're going to use it for the whites. Okay, then also for the meringue I need extra sugar, but you could have saved 2 tablespoons of the sugar from the measurement that was added to the entire batter which is there in the recipe. I have added in all the sugar into that particular step. In that case, we can't be adding only the whites alone without sugar, because we need to make a meringue, and meringue will be formed only with the addition of sugar. So I have another 2 tablespoons of the sugar here that will go with the whites, and so my meringue will be formed. That I will use it to fold it with the batter and then make that batter a lighter version of the vanilla butter cake. Okay, so to this I am adding the whites. So first I will have to beat the whites, break them down, and then they'll just become frothy and bubbly, and then I will be adding the sugar a little at a time, and as the beater keeps beating, and so then it will just froth and then increase in volume. Now if you're using a handheld beater, then you can have a towel and then place the bowl in which you're going to beat your egg white, and you can use your other hand and then take a tablespoon or half a tablespoon at a time and then keep beating, because you have to keep beating while you're adding the sugar. You cannot just let the beater aside and then add the sugar and then beat, because then your meringue will just flatten out and that frothy volume will just go missing. So you need to be beating now. And why the towel? Because you don't want the bowl to keep moving, because you're just going to use one hand to beat and then the other hand is not going to hold your bowl. So the towel will hold your bowl in place. So place your bowl that you're beating the whites with your handheld beater on a towel, and then use the other hand to keep adding the sugar a little at a time when you're going to keep beating the whites. Okay, so now I'll beat on medium speed and wait until it froths up, and then I'm going to add the sugar a little as the beater keeps running. So you can see this much of the froth is what we need before we are going to start adding the sugar. Okay, so now I'm going to increase the speed as well, and then as it beats I'm going to add the sugar. So you can see the stiff peaks are there, but you also don't want to kind of overbeat. You want the shine to remain there, because otherwise the final cake is also going to look dry. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. You can see that it's just the egg whites and sugar that has given that much of volume. Okay, and now as for the next step is to fold the meringue into the batter that we have already made. And I'm just going to fold this batter because it's been resting for some time. Okay, and into this, I'm just not going to fold this, but I'm just going to remove the portion. Like I'm going to add it in 3 parts. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the remaining there in that bowl, and then you can see now here I'm just going to gently cut and fold. Okay, so this is folding and this is cutting. Okay, so you can't be over mixing, because if you over mix, the texture that the whites will give will just kind of deflate off. So here, because this is the first portion of the white, even if you're seeing a little bit of the traces of the white, we just go on and add the second part. We don't wait till all the white is completely incorporated, so we just use the second portion of the white. Okay, so let the white distribute itself. Go till the bottom, so it just needs to get combined with okay, and then the final. So you typically should not be overbeating, and that much attention and care you have to be giving here. But then what we are trying to do is gently folding the whites into the batter, and then also getting thoroughly mixed up. And even after that, this is the texture of the batter that we will be having. It's not a runny batter, and that is how it is supposed to look. Okay, so into this the white is all completely incorporated. And now before pouring into the pan, you know that we have the pieces of the cookies, which is the Oreo bits, and then I'm just going to add them in. Yeah, and then they need to get folded in as well. Now if you're looking at a lighter version of the buttercream cake, in which the Oreo is not needed, because you can be combining the same recipe, the same technique with a lot of other different flavors, in that case you will avoid adding the cookies. At the stage, again, make sure you're not over mixing. Now the batter has all the cookies also incorporated in it, and now I'm just going to transfer the batter into the prepared cake pan. I'm just going to level the batter. And then I'm just going to tap the pan once, twice because that is a thick batter, and then it's possible that we have like all bigger air bubbles locked inside. And for this, it's a cake with egg, and the oven should be preheating at 160 degrees Celsius, and this needs to get baked between 35 to 45 minutes, because we are adding the entire batter into one pan and then having the sides hanging out for it to rise. So it is going to take up between 35 to 45 minutes. But you know that you need to wait until the top is not wobbly anymore, and then a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, and that is when the cake is baked. Now if you're going to split this between two 6-inch pans of the same diameter, then it could take anywhere between 30 to 35 minutes, but then it's going to take a lesser time, but obviously you will have two different pans for that matter. So you will just wait until the top is non-wobbly and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Now I'm going to put this into the oven, and then I'll come and get back to show you how the cake has been baked. So I have the Oreo butter cake baked nicely. I'm just going to show you how it looks once you take the cake out of the oven. The top looks golden brown, and then the toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. And now we just need to cling wrap this while it is still warm in 2 layers, and then freeze it, and then I'll get back when we are going to use the sponge to layer it.